they entertain the whole town, and they're we call them Ketchikan famous, because if you have a
Oh,
skill or something to share in that town, it's so nurtured, and people hold such space for that. They want, it's a very artistic community, lots of dancers, singers, performers, visual artists. Um, I don't know, it comes with the territory. So that's
yeah.
something that really is alluring. Um, and then I mean, I have to say one thing I didn't really know about Alaska before I moved there. I am from Massachusetts and I lived in California, so I'm used to those blue states, right? Very, very
Hmm.
liberal, very Democrat. So moving to Alaska was a bit of for me. However, once I got over how different it was from like what I'm used to, as regarding political views, etc.,
Right.
I was able to kind of notice this sense of libertarianism that really isn't present anywhere else I've
Ah,
lived. It's people that really they want to do them, and they want you to do you. Like everybody,
right.
they want everybody to be able to do what they want while living safely and cohesively, of course.
Right.
But it's something that's really special because I feel like my own journey, what I've discovered since living there is I've been so empowered, I moved I moved there supposedly for the summer, and by the end of the summer they'd offered me a salary and a management position, and all of a sudden I kind of I was able to just utilize my expertise in a way that I hadn't before.
Right.
And fast forward to the following fall, Mark and Eric, who opened up the store, offered me some shares of the company and brought me on as partners.
Nice.
So I was honored that I was able to have my skill recognized and properly compensated for. So I
That's
don't know, I think it's a
amazing.
special place where people are really seen, and your skills are truly noted and
That's so
honored.
good. That's so
Yeah.
good. I'm one. That's why my show is called Your Bucket List Buster. Because I truly believe that all people have a passion and have a skill. And when you do what you're passionate about, eventually it will turn into that career per se, however you want to word it,
Mhm.
so that you can do it on a full time basis. And, people say, well, how do you make money doing that? How do you make enough money doing that? Well, that's up to the person to figure out what successful means to them and how they live their life based on what it is they're doing. Musicians and
Right.
artists have been doing it forever.
Mhm.
So the fact that you're able to make a living doing, your young adult life was spent working in this industry, and the fact that now it's legal and you have a place that you can demonstrate your skills, I think that's just amazing. Absolutely amazing. Congratulations. That's really good.
That I'm very grateful. I definitely you can't foresee your life. You don't I never you asked me 4 years ago if I would be managing a dispensary in Alaska, I'd be like, "You're crazy. Mm-mm, not me." Like,
So
catch me elsewhere, not
yeah,
Alaska. But here
absolutely.
I am, and I couldn't be happier.
You mentioned outpost. What is an outpost?
Well, living on I feel like I live on the edge of society, honestly. That's what I
Mm.
feel. What I mean by outpost is because everything is Ketchikan is on the island of Revilla Gigedo, which is an island, incredibly gorgeous, special island, and it has more bears on it than people. So
Oh,
to
wow.
illustrate outposts, that's what I mean. You're more surrounded by nature than by society.
Right.
So
That's cool.
everything we eat is shipped up on a barge. You got to take the good with the bad. You're gonna
Yeah.
get some wilted vegetables, but you're gonna get like fresh caught wild Alaskan salmon that you just caught yesterday.
Yeah. That's amazing. That's so good.
And I
And
mean,
it
I eat
was
that
so
like
good.
3 times a week. Yeah.
It was so good. So
Did you
what?
guys get
So
out to go fishing when you were here or no?
I didn't, and I told my husband because we love to fish. We love to deep sea fish. We love, we when we
Oh
were dating,
man.
we were fishing, and so I had always said that when we went to Alaska, we were going to go fishing, but we didn't get a chance to do it. So we have put together a group cruise, or we're trying to get a group together to go come back with us next year. And I just told him this week, I said, I don't care what you do when you go to Alaska, but when I go to Alaska next time, I'm going fishing. So that's the
Well,
plan.
Karen, you let me know, and I will have one of my charter friend captains hook you up. They definitely facilitate adventure, and if you like to fish, you cannot leave Alaska again without having that
Well,
experience.
well, I'm gonna hold you to it. I'll tell you what day the cruise starts June 23rd next year, and I will
Okay.
let you know when we're gonna be in Ketchikan, and because we're coming, and I'm
Please
going fishing.
do.
I think that's amazing. That'll be so much fun. Oh my God, you just made my day. So
Of
let's
course.
let's let's talk a little bit about the background and the process of legalization of cannabis in Alaska. So how long did it take? Was it a overall a majority that wanted it, or what? How did it work?
So it was pretty easy. It was actually one of the first states to legalize in 2014. I think it was even before Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
But as as you know, with these things, they take red tape. Like first, and then after that, they kind of have to like go through all the red tape, fine tune the laws, and also like it's trial and error. It's figuring
Right,
out like um the best like the best situation for each state because they're all
right.
going to be different, you know?
Mm,
And I mean, they took a couple years because they legalized in 2014 and the first dispensary didn't open until 2016.
okay.
Um, but I think that, I mean, I've seen how the laws have been written in states like California as well, and I think that Alaska, they did they did it in true Alaskan style while legalizing it statewide. Of course, it came down to each town, and each town can kind of decide if they want to cap like on the amount of dispensaries or grows or manufacturers in that specific area, which I think is really wise considering how California blew up and absolutely crashed the market. I mean, you
Right.
have three stores on every corner and almost no one's making any money.
Money.
And
Mm-hmm.
that part just makes me sad because it's like this is such a beautiful economic opportunity if we wield it properly.
Right.
And I think that Alaska has done that. They let's see, they opened, yeah, like I said, the first dispensary in 2016, and after that, it kind of was just one after the other after the other. There's quite a few now. The Stoney Moose opened in the spring of 2017, and we actually have our town put a cap on the licensing, so there'll only be two dispensaries, which just makes me
Nice.
breathe a big sigh of relief because I think that that was a mistake that was made. If you don't put a cap on dispensaries, that means that people from out of state even are going to be like, oh, wow, look, legalization is happening here. I'm going to go in and throw up like three dispensaries with all the money I've
Right.
made from my other 16 dispensaries in the lower 48. Like, that's
Exactly.
not helping Alaskan citizens. That's helping big farmers that are going to
Yep.
eventually be Monsanto, et cetera, put
Mm-hmm.
more money in their pocket, which is not
Right.
what we're trying to do.
Yeah. I
So
like
yeah,
that.
and then actually, it's kind of exciting. Alaska has been the first state to legalize on-site consumption. So we're
Ooh.
in the baby phases of that, but we're the only state to do it, and it's coming down to each town now deciding how they're going to go forward with that opportunity, if they're going to utilize it or no. A lot of places in Anchorage just utilize the edibles. They're like, okay, well, consuming smoke on site that can get kind of sticky. Trying to make sure that people aren't inhaling smoke like employees, etc.
Right.
There's kind of
Right.
a lot of talk about that, just protecting the employees' health and well-being, which I totally support. I think that consuming edibles on site is the best, most unobtrusive, safe way for on site consumption to be at this point.
Right.
Of
Right.
course, I mean I'm a proponent of on site in general. I think that providing tourists with a space to smoke the joint they just purchased is kind of a hole that we have right now.
Hmm. Yeah, that's
But
the
at the
thing,
same time,
and the it could turn into a whole lot beyond just consuming the products that you purchase there.
mhm,
It could also turn into a whole experience of other things that you could bring along. I'm just thinking food because people get the munchies.
right, right. So, and that's our vision too. So Mark Woodward opened up. He's one of the original owners who opened up the shop, and he did a research trip to Amsterdam before he
Mhm.
opened up because that's our vision. We want that coffee shop. We already actually
Yeah.
partnered up with a coffee company, a roasting company, and we have a coffee brew in the mix of being prepared. It's like going to be the Stoney Moose brew,
Right.
eventually CBD infused. And that's another aspect of Alaska that's so great because in other states, like in Washington, you can't sell anything but cannabis in a cannabis store. Well, in
Uh,
Alaska, we can sell popcorn, we can sell coffee, we can sell
right.
art, we can sell, anything we want, really,
Yeah. Make it
besides
an
alcohol.
experience. You make it a destination. That's the thing. You could
Exactly. And
truly make it a destination.
right, and we are already such a destination. I mean, just the history of the shop and Creek
Yeah.
Street. I mean, I don't know if you took any tours of the old brothels on Creek Street, but
No, we
that's
didn't.
kind of a that's a whole nother aspect of the destination. It's like we're set in the old town red light district. All
Uh-huh.
those brightly colored buildings you saw along the creek
Yeah.
where the salmon swim up to spawn, those were all brothels.
Oh, I think someone did mention that when we were walking around. That's just
Mhm.
so cool.
Brothels, speakeasies, most of those buildings have a trap door that leads down to the creek so that they could shuffle the alcohol in and out really quickly during Prohibition.
I've got to come back. I need to come back and just spend some time in Ketchikan just so I can explore that whole town because it was so fun. It was
It's
so
full of stories. It's wonderful, and I'd be happy to facilitate your experience with Ketchikan next time you're there.
well, we're gonna do it. Let's explain what a dispensary actually is.
So, for those that don't know, poor folks that live in Florida or Texas,
Yep, I'm from Texas. I
um,
lived in Texas, so that's why I didn't
right,
know.
right. So imagine a bar for cannabis. We have bud tenders instead of bartenders. My staff, my wonderful, amazing staff, goes to extreme efforts to make sure they're educated and can properly connect with all the customers on their needs
Hmm.
regarding effects, regarding, desires like flavor profiles and just general wellness. Obviously, I remind everybody they aren't doctors, they're bud tenders. They can just
Right.
advise you. But I do put extreme importance on education so that the bud tender can facilitate the experience for someone who doesn't necessarily know what a dispensary is or what's it supposed to be like or even the first thing to look at.
Yeah, because it's overwhelming. I found it to be quite overwhelming because I did come from Texas, where when we left Texas a year ago, they were just starting to allow people with epilepsy to take medicinal CBD, and so we were so far away from understanding what that was. I'd had cousins that had gone to Colorado and stuff, but I've never walked into one. And so to walk into a dispensary for the first time and they say, "Oh, well, you got your flowers and your pre-rolls and your vaporizers and your concentrates and your edibles and your topicals." And we were kind of like, "Whoa,
Right.
wait a minute. What does all this mean? You know,
Yeah,
we're just
it's a
talking
lot.
about people. We come from the world of just rolling a joint, and it didn't have a name to it. It was just weed, you know.
Oh yeah, some people come in and they're like,